Welcome to this week's fan feature. Noah Atnikov, longtime Winnipeg Blue Bombers fan, straight out of Winnipeg, and has been following the Bombers for many, many years, over a decade now. His list last year in 2019, the Bombers won their first ever Grey Cup. Noah, what does it mean to have finally witnessed the Bombers win the Grey Cup in your lifetime and to have been there as well?
Oh man, I got to think about, I go back 13 years, 14 years of following the Bombers. My dad was the guy that got me into the Bombers at first when I was like maybe 10 years old. I remember going to my first game, 2006. The Blue Bombers were playing the BC Lions at Canada Inn Stadium, the old stadium. And Mike Quinn, the infamous Mike Quinn, was getting his first start for the Blue Bombers. And we proceeded to lose about 49-10 or something like that. But from that moment on, I was hooked. I love the atmosphere at the Bomber game. I love the fans, the rabid fans. And, I didn't miss a game for 14 years. I watched nonstop for, I'm going to say 13, 14 years I've been watching now. Haven't missed a game. Me and my dad, he's been the best. Me and my dad have watched every game together for, I would say, 13 years now. I'm sure I've watched a few with my friends here and there, but my dad has been the biggest staple for me. And, I remember when we finally punched our ticket to the Grey Cup, I went to my dad and I said, Dad, I think we got to go. I think we've been watching for 13 years and this means so much to us. We've sat through so many bad quarterbacks. We've seen all these different head coaches. We've seen all this turmoil. We've seen all this turnover. And to finally be in this game with a chance to win it, I think we got to go. And my dad looked at me and he said, Noah, there's no way we're going. It's too expensive. There's no way I'm going to be able to afford to take you there. And, at this point, I was already talking with Matthias and a couple of our other friends, and, they were saying, I think we got to go, So Matthias, the offer was on the table. We were going to drive down there. And, I thought to myself, man, I don't know if I can choose. So I said to my dad, Dad, I have two options now. I can go down there with Matthias and my buddies and watch the Grey Cup in person, have an amazing experience, but I'll probably forever regret not watching this game with you for the rest of my life because you've been the one that's watched every game with me for my whole life. You were the one that got me into the Bombers. And, and then I have another option of watching it with you at home. And of course that would be awesome. We'd get to experience it together, but, I wouldn't get the atmosphere of being at the game, and being really in the stadium in Calgary, witnessing the Grey Cup win. So I was kind of caught between a rock and a hard place. So I said to my dad, I've never done this before. I've never actually pulled the guilt trip card to this extent. But, I looked at my dad square in the eyes and I said, Dad, no one's promised tomorrow. You've smoked on and off for your whole life, and I'm just saying that if you were to die in the next 5 years and we didn't get to experience this Grey Cup win together, I would forever regret that the rest of my life. And my dad looked at me and he said, you little, what, I can't say it. This is a PG show. You little, what, we're going to the damn Grey Cup. And, we bought our tickets and we flew down there. And I'll never forget at the final whistle when the final gun sounded and the Bombers were Grey Cup champions. I just remember, hugging my dad, and tears were running down my eyes. I was so emotional, just thinking about all the games we've watched together and, all the bad quarterbacks we've seen, Alex Brink, Joey Elliott, Justin Golds, Brian Braum, the list goes on and on. There's been about 20 quarterbacks that have started games for us in the last, 13 years. But to be able to witness that with my dad in person, it was a special moment, a moment I'll never forget.
At what moment, two moments we'll discuss here during our segments, that you were the most scared, and what was the moment where you knew we were going to win?
The exact moment that gave me a heart attack was when it was third down and Cody Fajardo goes back to pass and he throws a little 10-yard out pattern for the first down and it goes right through Marcus Sale's hands and somehow gets caught by the Rough Riders. And I literally put my hand in my head like this and I was in complete dismay and I thought, we're going to find a way to lose this game. I thought, I've seen this happen before. It's going to happen again. We're going to find a way to lose this game. And so that was the scariest moment. And, the moment when I knew we were going to win, Hamilton was really struggling in the Grey Cup game. They couldn't get much going offensively. But towards the end of the fourth quarter, you kind of got the feeling they were going to make a little bit of, their run was coming. They were going to make their run and kind of get back into this game a little bit. and it's 2nd and 10 from about the 50-yard line, and Dane Evans drops back and launches about a 50-yard missile down the field and goes right through the hands of Mike Jones. And there was like 10 minutes left in the game, and it goes right through his hands, and you're just thinking, you know what, that was probably their only chance to get back in the game. They had a chance. If they caught it, they would have been at the 5-yard line, would have had a chance to score a touchdown. Instead, it's incomplete. The Bombers get the ball back, and from there, you kind of knew the game was over.
The win meant everything for Bomber fans, and through everything that we've been through, ups and downs, it really means a lot that we were finally able to witness a win. And I can't imagine there was no greater feeling than being able to witness it with someone that got you into football.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just a moment I'll never forget. I remember when the final gun sounded, I just hugged my dad, and it was just overcome with emotion and tears running down my eyes. And, people don't really understand, there's casual Bomber fans out there, but for someone that's watched every game for the last, 13 years, you can't put into words how much that Grey Cup win meant. It was, unbelievable.